that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It's
Gets
gross.
the people going.
Well, Hector, here's the game plan. You're gonna bring us 2 absolute martinis. You know how I like them, straight up. And then precisely 7½ minutes after that, you're gonna bring us 2 more. Then 2 more after that every 5 minutes until one of us passes the fuck out.
You got a bad attitude and you don't listen.
Oh, yes. There will be blood.
It is not the violence that sets a man apart. All right, it is the distance that he is prepared to go.
Ever notice how you come across somebody once in a while that you shouldn't have fucked with? That's me.
What the fuck else would you do this job? Cocaine and hookers, my friend.
Welcome to the Max Ordinate podcast. What do we have? What
format?
Oh no.
Okay, go. Whatever.
Welcome, Max Ordinate
Podcast.
So we've been off for a month. We took a month off.
God, it's been a month.
It has been exactly 4 weeks, 2 days.
Mhm.
Yep. But I mean, we've been go like every week.
Yeah.
It was needed. Take a break, reset, but also me transitioning from Japan to Okinawa, or sorry, Japan to Hawaii, and working out of Hawaii for a month. It was a lot harder than we both thought.
So I thought for
because
sure
of the time difference.
you're 3 hours ahead of me. Super easy. It's not this big difference anymore. Cool. We'll just knock it out. Did not work that way.
It was actually worse.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah. In my training schedule, being in Hawaii with my actual trainer for the entire month was some brutal ass shit every day, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm just getting hazed, and back in boot camp, getting yelled at. Why am I not continuing? Why am I not going harder? I'm like, how? As I'm trying to do a push-up, there was a time where I was doing these burpees and I'm trying to remember what the workout was. It was do 15 burpees. Oh, sorry. Do 25 burpees. Okay. And then 25 air squats and then 25 single arm snatches and run a lap, which is a half mile.
Okay.
So I'm on my last go of this shit. And I'm trying to do a burpee and I can't jump. I just I can't.
You just got nothing to take.
Nothing. I'd stand up and it's and then just fall back down. And then it got to the point where the trainer was like, just do the push-ups on your knees. Just don't do the push-up. Just go down, come back up.
So this trainer, is this the same trainer that you had this is your same trainer that you have in Okinawa?
Yeah, that I've had all year.
And this is someone that has been traveling, or
No.
Or is this just all remote?
It was all remote up until now.
Okay.
And then now was the hey, this is the last month. I'm talking beach cruiser.
Yeah.
Following me around, telling me to run faster. There was a workout one of the days where it was 8 miles. And you do the workouts in between weren't hard. You just do this workout and then you take off and you run this mile loop and then you come back, you do the workout, right? So the first mile, I was just kind of getting into my groove and it was an 8-minute pace. Not bad. Come back, hit the workout. Second mile, I'm picking it up. I think I finished that mile in 5-minute, 30-second pace, which is insane for me.
Yeah,
I've never run that fast.
That's fast
for a long stretch of time. Yeah. So as we're getting into mile 5, mile 6, like my pace is slowing. You know, now I'm falling into like the 7-minute range, and I could just hear like, hurry up, come on, let's go. Sprint this last little bit. I'm like, I'll fucking murder you.
I don't want to puke.
I'll fucking murder you. Yeah. There was another day where we were at the rock climbing gym, and they have a little CrossFit area, and I'm doing snatches and shit like that. And I'm just like, I'm gonna throw up or I'm a blackout. One of the two. I was like, be ready. And the response that I got was, if you black out, make sure you throw the bar forward. I'm like, but if I'm blacked out, how do I do that? How do I tell myself to throw the bar forward versus like on top of me?
Yeah.
Have you ever been blacked out and aware of what's happening
No,
around
I've
you?
never blacked out. I've passed out to the point where I thought I was going to black out before during workouts. I've thrown up a lot, but I've never blacked out during a workout.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there thinking about this, like, how do I tell myself to throw the bar forward as I'm in this blackout status? It didn't happen, so I didn't have to test my ability to do that.
Good.
But yeah, there were some crazy workouts.
Well, it sounds like you really pushed it
Pushed it
in this
hard.
last,
Yeah.
month of training leading up to SAC.
Dude, it was insane. I mean, it was good.
I have not been doing that.
Yeah.
I've been doing the opposite.
So, I think it's half driven by me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like beat around the bush. We don't have any secrets around here. After we had the episode with Dave, he like hit me up privately. He's like, hey man, you may be overtraining. And I'm like, that may be my fault. And he's like,
possibility.
okay. And I'm like, it's probably my fault, because when I get sent a workout, if I don't feel that it's hard enough, Tyler's in the gym afterwards or on a run. Like, that's my level of insanity. So the trainer is now adjusting workouts to try and make it so that I won't work out after the workout. Yep. So I think a lot of it, if you think that I'm overtraining, it's because I'm doing it to myself, because I just have very little understanding of how.
You're just being Tyler, which is pretty normal.
It's
that's
either
that's on brand,
way over, or it's nothing at all.
Right.
So we're going to do this episode, and we're actually doing 2 today. We're doing one right now, spur of the moment, and then we're doing another one tonight where we have the nutritionist.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
And she's actually, I met her because in Hawaii, I was like, it's time to get a massage. I found one of the best places for like sports massage. This ain't no cheap ass, like, getting a happy ending rub and tug at the end. Like, she's sitting there, she's evaluating me, she's asking me like, what are my problem areas? I tell her what we're doing, like what competition is coming up. And I mean, it was good. Awesome sports massage. She does a lot of athletes, and we're just chatting while she's like, taking my breath away. And turns out she goes to school for nutrition, or she did.
Okay.
And I'm like, holy shit. Like, to be honest with you, I know nothing about nutrition, So I put together this whole podcast overview of not just how nutrition can relate to a competition like this, but what about all of us regulars? What about the people who just want to go out and compete in a 2-day PRS match? Yep. How would your nutrition affect you? Because I've experienced both sides of the coin, where I've eaten prior to the match and I feel okay. And then I've also done it where I fasted until noon. And I feel like brain-wise, the fasting, I don't know what it is about fasting, but I think clearly.
Yeah, and I think I've experienced the same thing. I think we talked about, I went through this period of just working out and just hitting the gym while fasting. And it's been some of my most productive sessions and years and weeks. But I had to sort of lead up to that. So it's not like I just didn't eat, went to the gym. Like, it was the whole, like, I'd be on my 18-hour fast cycle, like 18 and 24s. And then I think it was like off for 2 days. But I only went to the gym during those times. And then I think about all the times I didn't do that. I just had like your quote unquote normal nutrition, which is like you're eating a lot, little times, eating a lot, little bits all the time. You're spreading out throughout the day. And I feel like I've been less productive during those times.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
you know, I don't know. Like, I'm not a nutritionist. I've just sort of always swung from the hip on that.
yeah. And same with me. I have no idea. I just find something and I'm like, oh, look, for these 1 day Saturday fucking monthly matches, I could fast through pretty much the entire match and be extremely clear headed and feel good. Whereas like a 2 day match with longer stages, longer duration, I don't know if that approach would work, right?
But, which is pretty much, I think, and I don't want to misquote him, but I feel like it's pretty much what Dave's doing.
It is, but his body is...
He stays in keto for the match, which means he doesn't require a lot of calories.
But you and I are not in keto.
Well, no, I know. I'm just saying. So it's like, it's two complete opposite approaches.
So yeah, for him, like he's been leading up to this where he's putting his body into that ketosis state. Whereas, you know, unless you have developed yourself that way, you're not going to go into a weekend match in keto.
Yeah, you're just going to go in hungry.
You're just going to go in hungry, right? And then like, what's happening to your body while you're not eating?
Yeah.
You know, those are all the questions that I have for her, including some other things like, hey, I've heard the word being thrown around, superfood. I have no idea what it means, you know?
No idea.
Help a brother out. Like, how super is it? Should we be eating it before the match?
Yeah,
like,
my favorite word right now that I keep hearing, and my PT, so my therapist has me on a handful of supplements, and they're adaptogens.
Adaptogens.
No idea what the fuck that means. Like, it doesn't really matter when you take it around this time because it's an adaptogen. I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. Yeah. Sounds legit.
So tonight I got to bring my supplements because I did say that we were going to talk about supplements. And she's like, okay, I don't know a lot about supplements, but we can talk about it. And, you know, what I do know, I'll share it with you. I'm like, all right, cool. You know, I think she'll be helpful because it's nutritional type stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'm adding magnesium to my diet by taking a supplement, but I also have this stuff called Super D. You know, it's not super cock, it's super D. And when I was reading the label, because I was like, I don't know what's in this. If you tell anybody right now, hey, I'm taking Super D supplement, what are they thinking? You're getting a shot of protein
on that Super D.
So, but there's like zinc and potassium, some other shit in there. You know, so like, I'm curious. I'm very curious what she has to say. You know, definitely what type of foods that I should eat during the sack, just because Dave is on a keto diet. So his body's going to feast on all of his fat. Tyler's on a high carb protein diet. And when that runs out,
you're gonna have to give it back somehow.
Fred, carry me.
Give me the pizza.
So
yeah.
Which brings me to not just the gear that I'm taking, but check these out. So this is something that Fred has brought the past few years.
This is the
this
scratch
is called
labs.
Scratch labs, right?
So this is
it's 100 grams of carbs every serving.
Okay.
Right? It's 400 calories. There's some sugars in there, right? No protein content. So there's no protein. It's just carbs. So I'm hoping that I can supplement this in some of my water and keep my carb content up, right? And then I found this stuff, right? It's called Half Evil, which I'm guessing is because there's 333, which is half of 666.
Okay. Fair enough.
So 333 is the amount of calories in this per serving.
And it has caffeine.
Right? Now there's 82 grams of carbs in this guy, but there's a lot more other supplements like potassium, calcium, magnesium. So I'm hoping that we can mix and match, kind of like use both of these to boost that carb content. But I don't want to overdo it either. Correct. You know, like first day of Sniper Venture Challenge, and I'm 4 servings deep into this shit, 400 grams of carbs later, and I'm like, I can't fucking move. So that's kind of going to be another question for the nutritionist is like, I have this stuff. How should I be using it? You know, like, what do you think? How is my body going to process these carbs? You know, I wish we in previous years would have had some type of like monitor not just to tell us how far we've gone or anything like that, but we have no idea what we're burning in calories.
No.
We have none. I'm estimating that we're burning somewhere around 10,000 calories a day. But it's not like we're running anywhere. We have a pack. It's roughly, mine's 36, 37 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
But
So you just can't have any, we talked about this. You can't have any electronics with GPS. And the problem with 99% of them, they have GPS.
correct. Yeah.
So why don't you just run a whoop and just get the data afterwards?
I don't even know what that is.
I have an extra one. You can use it.
All right. Noted. It'll be an interesting year to see how the performance was, right? So that's something that we're going to supplement my meals with. I also packed food in my pack,
Right.
and we'll get to that. The other major concern is the SAC has always been on September 1st weekend,
Yes.
Labor Day.
Mhm.
This year it got bumped to November, and it's not in Wyoming. Now it's in Arizona.
Yep.
It's in the cold desert of Arizona.
Yep.
So you look at the temperatures, you're like, oh, look, middle of the day on Friday and Saturday is going to be mid to high 70s. Cha-ching.
Nice.
Nighttime.
Shorts weather.
Yeah. Nighttime, high 30s.
Not shorts weather.
Not shorts weather. So I'm freaking out a little bit because I'm like, it'll be fine. But everybody around me that knows me and knows where I've been for the past year is like, you've been on a tropical island.
Yeah.
They watched me get into the water, and I was,
Oh yeah, because you've been in Japan water.
I mean, Japan water in the summer, dude, is like,
Yeah.
it's like being in a bath.
Yeah.
I put my toe in Hawaii water. I'm like, whoa, nah, I pass. They're like, it's so warm. I'm like, doesn't feel warm.
Yeah.
And then I did go to the beach here, Cali, the other day.
Oh God, that's cold.
That was no bueno.
Yeah, it's cold.
That was no bueno. Oh my gosh. You talk about like instantly losing your penis. That's what happened.
Yeah. It's funny, I've always been the same way. I mean, my whole life, I couldn't even get into a fucking stream in the river on like party weekends and stuff. Like I can't get in the water because it's just too cold. I don't do cold.
Yeah.
And I haven't since my stem cells, but doing the ice bath every fucking day. We went to the beach, a few months in. I was like, oh, this is
nice.
nice.
Maybe I need to consider that for next year.
Yeah. Also, we need to plan ahead on nutrition for next year. Because I started thinking about it, like we have access to a lot of like my brother, high level nutritionist, and he's a elite world level strongman. Right now I think he's with Goodyear Fire Department.
Okay.
My neighbor across the street, she's a high level nutritionist. Like we have access to all these people that we're like last week. What do I gotta eat?
We're sitting here
I
like,
should start
I don't
early.
know shit about any of this, like, yeah.
So next year we just gotta plan ahead on that.
Well, it's kind of it's better to admit that you just don't know, right? Maybe we're a little late to the game thinking about it. It's not that we ever thought we knew. It's that we just didn't like, what should we eat?
Well, and my biggest problem is I do things like this is like, oh, this is probably what I should do for this one time that I never do, that I'm going to do this time.
Yeah.
And then 3 hours into the match, I'm like, oh, my stomach hurts. I can't eat that stuff or whatever it is.
Yeah. So there's definitely some already lessons to be learned, right? This was by far the most in-depth approach to this competition this year.
Yeah.
Fred came through, and not only did we work on what supplements we could have in the middle of the competition, but we have this pack that he came out with, and he worked with a tack pack to get this thing all set up, right? It is see-through.
Yes, it is.
But this is Dyneema.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gnarly stuff.
Super lightweight, super strong. And then you unclip these bad boys here. And your rifle fits in this slot. And then you have a carbon fiber plate.
Yeah, that's nice.
So, I mean, it's comfortable. There's almost like a webbing. I don't know how to describe it. But the way that the carbon fiber is bowed is because of the stitching over here that kind of gives you that soft back plate.
Okay. Almost like suspension. It's almost like.
Yeah. So this thing minus the rifle is fully loaded out with everything plus some that I will carry.
Okay.
And we just weighed us
Yeah, and it was
36.8 pounds.
Yeah.
Which is
So it's sub 40 pounds,
sub 40 pounds.
and there's extra shit in there that you're not be carrying in it. And when you brought that over, I strapped it on a couple days ago, and it's extremely comfortable.
Yeah.
But it also carries the load really even, which is nice.
Yep.
I think that's going to be a great setup.
So it's got some stuff in there that I won't take. And what that means is we don't have to carry everything with us.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to take this tripod, but it's not going to be strapped to me the entire time.
It's going to stay at
It's going to stay in the cash bag. It'll stay in our little stash area. And when we need it, we'll come and get it and we'll go use it and then we'll drop it off or ditch it. Like if you feel like you don't need it and it's not on the required gear list, there's nothing that says you can't bush monster it, right? Good luck coming back later, you know. So you're gonna find your tripod, which is $1,500.
Maybe not.
Maybe not, right? So how much do you want to save? 4 pounds, you know. So I've run this every single year. This is just a chest rig from Hill People Gear, right? I carry my pistol mags on my chest. I don't want that much stuff on my belt.
Yeah.
It'll wear on you eventually.
And now that's now let it be known, I did offer you the use of my Louis Vuitton chest rig.
You did.
You turned that down.
I
for
did.
some reason.
Yes. I'm very attached to this and having run it so much. I've got pistol mags, right? I've taken a dump pouch and basically put it on the front and people are like, what do you do that for? I'm like, for my map.
Yeah, I'd never thought about it. That's a
I don't want
doesn't have to be behind you.
I don't want to stop every time I want to look at the map, I don't want to have to stop and dig through my shit. I want it accessible. I want it right here. I want it safe, flashlight and little timepiece. I'd rather keep it on my chest than on my watch. If it's not doing anything health related for me, then I'd rather just keep my wrist free.
Yep.
So this is that guy right here. Got some gloves and I did, based off of the advice from a bunch of people who say they know me, okay, I had to go and think about getting warm. So this is just a waterproof sack.
Okay.
Nothing crazy, but there's certain things in the bag I don't want to get wet. We got to cross a stream or a river or something like that.
Yeah.
So first thing, feel this guy. This is, I am not
cashmere.
Dude, I am not bougie. Okay.
No, that feels cashmere.
You're bougie.
Yes.
I'm not bougie.
That feels nice.
This is the most expensive sweater I've ever purchased.
Yeah,
It's
cashmere.
It's supposed to keep you warm. All right.
Nice.
It is a Cotopaxi smart wool. It's lightweight, but close to your body.
Yeah, that's bitching.
Should be awesome. The epic beanie.
Okay.
Gotta have the beanie. All right. Now. Oh, got some mittens.
Okay. These are nice.
So maybe you could educate me on this.
So here's what I did. Now, well, no, continue. You first.
Well, I have on my gear, I have my mountain bike gloves, right? They're a lot of dexterity. They'll cover and protect my hands. They're not going to do a lot for warmth, right?
Correct.
So in order to not be thinking about the cold so much, Fred.
Have you tried these on yet? They do fit?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you look at the size?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
They're a woman 7.
Yes.
Oh, these are big.
Yes.
Oh, these
Dude, I tried every pair of gloves on in there, right? The reason I went with these is because when I was talking to Fred, he's like, yeah, I'm going to pick up some mittens. And I'm like, mittens? You mean gloves? He's like, yeah, but mittens. And I'm like, okay. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about it and I'm at REI looking at this wall of gloves, thinking like, got to keep my hands warm. Gloves, 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 gloves. Why did Fred say mittens? And I'm like, still don't know the answer to that question. But if he's getting mittens and he lives in Colorado, I'm getting mittens. Hence the women's 7 mittens.
So mittens are always a good choice, right? So I have, I'm real like hardcore about my glove systems. So I run a glove system because when I'm hunting and I'm in the top, I say tripod, I hunt from my truck, but because in California you can't shoot from the truck, I have my 8-foot tall tripod that I sit on and it's got a seat. or if I'm in Texas, either way, I'm 8, 9, 10 foot in the air.
Yeah.
And so it's middle of winter, it's freezing cold, and you're in the air exposed to the wind, and your hands are the first thing that freeze. So I run a glove system, which is silk liners.
Okay.
And I run my silk glove liners in usually a lighter glove, something thin, but like a more like keep your hands warm glove.
Yeah.
And I stuff all of that into fingerless mittens that pop open so I can use it. And when they're done, I pop them back. And they're sitting right there. The mittens were the game changer keeping my hands warm, because getting your hands to stay together and warm each other up is night and day difference. You could put on 10 pairs of gloves, your individual fingers are still going to freeze.
I figured that's what it had to be, is that you had the ability to keep your hands together.
Yeah, it makes such a huge difference.
So
I would say maybe glove liners also, because it depending upon how cold it's going to get. And I have a pair you can take with you, because they're just silk glove liners.
Okay.
And those make a big difference too.
Okay. So yeah, there they are, women's mittens, because
Nice,
that's
like
what
those.
they have.
No, those are pretty.
guess
Too.
men
They
don't-
look like women's mittens
I
for
guess
some reason.
men don't wear
No,
mittens.
they don't.
Not at REI.
No.
So, and then these,
Okay.
I swear by these. Okay. For those of you who don't know, these are Smart Wool toe socks.
Toe socks.
Yep. They have been a game changer in terms of keeping my feet dry, protecting from blisters, which
I was
is,
gonna ask, so how do they do with blisters?
they do great,
Okay.
right? They keep your toes from rubbing together, right? Kind of like a glove, finger glove. Really helps moisture wick away any stuff, the cushion, any sock that you get after you wear it for a certain amount of time, the cushion's just going to start to crush.
Yeah.
So eventually you're going to get some friction buildup, which is where this special Luco tape comes in.
Yep.
So after reading the ultra marathon books, I tape the entire bottom of my feet. I tape my toes.
Okay.
And it acts as a friction layer between me and the sock and the shoe.
Okay.
So I've been able to reduce about 95% of all blisters through this method. Last year was kind of an anomaly because it was so damn hot out in Wyoming.
Yeah, and your feet were just sweating.
That you were just
profusely. Yeah.
baking in the sun.
Yeah.
I don't anticipate that this year.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't have a lot of experience with that, because I've never had to really look into like the big like fixers for blisters, because I just never all my years I just don't get blisters. I still got shitty feet,
Yeah.
but I just don't get blisters for some reason.
Yeah, I know the spots that cause me problems, and I prefer the method of prevention versus fixing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then on top of having the toe socks, right, I have one pair of extra thick wool,
Okay.
and my shoes are a half size bigger.
Yeah.
So to
Yeah.
help with foot swelling
Yep.
and things like that. But I figured for nighttime transition, this might be good.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's going to get you.
It is. So that's pretty much the warming layer type stuff and how I'm going to stay warm. You've got other crap that you're required to carry. I mean, nowhere on the gear list is food required. It's not part of your requirement.
It's not.
But this is some of the crap that I'll take with me, from, Lenny and Larry's protein vegan cookies to energy bars, Cliff bars. I mean, all kinds of protein stuff. I mean, this isn't the full diet, but what I've gotten used to is pushing myself every 45 minutes to an hour. I'm eating something.
Okay.
The big meals, like if we're going to sit down and have a piece of pizza or something like that, it needs to be at a planned stop, where if we're moving for 3 hours, I don't want to stop.
Yeah, you just need to grab something.
I just want to reach into my pouch there, pull out a Cliff Bar, and I want to keep eating, even though we're not at a place that we can actually relax for a second. So I've got this. Most of it will not go with me. I try to plan it out where, okay, I estimate that we're going to be moving for 8 hours. By the time we get to the cache site and we can actually take a 10-minute break and eat, what do I need for 8 hours? And then I'll have a little buffer room in there for some margin of error, but you're probably looking at, more than half of this bag being taken out What do you think this weighs?
And that, I'm saying that's probably 3 pounds of food. At
Okay,
least.
so now we just went from 36 pounds down to 33.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure. That's yeah, because that's a lot of food.
It is. This is one of 2 bags.
Okay.
Yeah. All the water's in here right now. You know, Fred and all his wisdom, we have 2 camelbacks each.
And so is that filled up with water right now?
Yep, it's
Okay.
filled up with water right now. It's ready to go. But then the other camelback is full, but it'll be in the cache
In the
bag.
cash bag. Okay.
So instead of having to fill your camelback at the cache site, you can just swap.
And this is Arizona. So were you able to look? Do you guys have the map of the area yet? Or is that the night before?
We have the map of the area.
So-
we know what the operational box is.
Are there
It's-
water sources anywhere that you can see?
No.
Back in a lot of water this year.
So if we find
I
a
mean, and when I say
location-
water, so is there a dirty stream somewhere you can pump water out?
not that you can see,
Okay.
it just like from Fred's map study, which is the reason that on our trekking poles,
Yes.
you see I put the big
Let me grab this.
birdies at the bottom.
Yep.
There's a reason for that.
These things.
It looks like 50% of the area is dunes.
Okay.
So how bad is that gonna suck to have to trek through the sand like you're walking on the beach?
Yeah. And if you only had your
It's just a pole.
the
that just-
pole.
God bless it, right? So we haven't really located any water from an aerial view. I'm hoping it won't be the case when we're on the ground. We're just really not prepared to have to dig farther than 12 inches to get water.
Yeah.
But we per team you're required to carry some type of water filtration.
Mhm.
We carry one each, so it doesn't slow us down when we get to one spot and we're both using one pump. So we both have a water
And those are
filter.
pretty light.
Yeah, they're not bad, they work. Everybody's got to have a survival kit
Mm-hmm.
with like a mirror, a space blanket, a fire starter. This is the shit that Fred picked up for us last year. This is
Oh, this is-
100 feet of Dyneema rope.
Dyneema rope. Yeah.
So you have to have rope that it can carry 100 pounds. So you can go with 550 cord, but 550 cord is going to weigh twice as much
Yeah.
as that. So
Well, it's a tenth of the price.
it is
That's expensive shit.
price. So the Dyneema rope is roughly $1.60 a foot.
Yeah.
Like, whoo, boy,
That's an expensive piece of rope.
got to have some type of poncho or tarp
Okay. Yep.
that you can carry a person in.
So you can drag your buddy home. Okay.
If you have to make a litter, it has to be able to withstand a litter,
Okay.
right?
And I'm saying because this is kind of a heavy poncho,
It is.
but it has rules on it, so that makes sense.
Yep, yep. So, and then tourniquet, medical supplies, learning from last year. Last year was kind of the first time I ever really used ibuprofen.
Mhm.
I was having really bad knee inflammation. Fred's like, take this.
800 milligrams every 8 hours. Just remember that, unless you don't care about your liver.
I was taking it way much more
I
than
know
that.
you were.
But he was like, take this. 30 minutes later, I was like, damn,
Yeah.
that shit's good. I was like, give me some more. Preventative maintenance.
Yeah.
This is like 2 hours later. So
But you can double up. So bring your ibuprofen, also bring Tylenol. They're both anti-inflammatories. They do similar things, but they do them for 2 different ways. So you can take max doses of both every 8 hours.
okay.
So you can take 4 ibuprofen pills and you can take 2 Tylenols, and you can stack those on top of each other because you can take the limit of each. They're
So the
2 different-
competition is 36 hours.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to die from liver failure?
I have no idea, but what I will say is don't take too much Tylenol. That shit will kill you in the most awful way.
No.
Tylenol overdosing is awful.
All right, cool. So outside of that,
You've overdosed and you have no choice. You're going to die, but you still live for another 8 hours just to know what's going to happen.
last couple things, shoes. So I wear the Ultra Lone Peaks. I've worn them for the past couple years. They've got cushion. They're a 0 drop system, so there's no elevation in the heels. But I dig them.
Did you did you do what Fred said, which is buy 2 pairs?
Yep.
And so you've been wearing 2 pairs and alternating.
Oh yeah, I've been putting both pairs through the ringer.
Nice.
These are my blue ones. I have black ones that match. They're identical in every way, and they probably got equal miles on them.
Perfect.
You know, so they work well. They are designed to wear ankle gaiters.
Oh, okay.
Keep sand and shit
Yeah.
out of your area.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, man. So they're good. They're gonna work. And then the final layer that I'm bringing is normally everybody knows I wear shorts.
Mm-hmm.
That's not changing, but I might put on pants
Just in case.
this time.
Yeah.
So I have some semi all weather resistant pants that I think will just help keep a little warmth in,
Mhm.
right? And
Anything covering your legs a little bit from just a little bit of breeze will help.
a knit hoodie
Okay.
that'll go over that skin tight wool
Yep.
sweatshirt. You know, outside of that, I'm going to kind of live by the pack light, freeze at night. I mean, I'm packing enough that it's adding weight and bulk to my setup,
Mhm.
but I'm not going to overdo it. Like I'm not bringing out a snowsuit.
No, but
you
look,
know,
you've added
so
gear that you wouldn't normally take. You've
Yeah.
added stuff for warmth. You've added a lot of stuff. And you're still right at where you've been the last few years.
Yeah.
So, and you haven't really given anything up that I can think of. So I think you're in a good spot weight wise.
yeah, we've shed weight, but then added things that benefit.
You moved it around to places that it made more sense. So we
Yeah.
shaved weight in places that we could shave it to add some pants, to add a pullover,
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. So that makes sense. Plus, you guys don't stop at night.
Nope.
So if you're cold, you're just gonna fucking walk faster.
Pretty much it, man. On top of that, weighing everything. We got the rifle that we put in the pack.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. As we weighed it, it was 36.8 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
But me total as an individual,
Yep.
I was 204 pounds.
204.1.
204.1, which is definitely heavier than last year.
Well, yeah.
Because I mean, I can't lie, dude. I'm full of shit right now.
Yeah.
I have been since yesterday eating nothing but carbs, pasta, carb loading. I mean, I feel full.
Yeah.
All the time.
We are within 0.2 of a pound right now.
So
And I'm 15 pounds overweight.
Sunday, basically my last workout day. Sunday, I weighed myself at the gym and I was 159. I was like, that's right where I want to be.
Yeah.
Step on the scale today, it's like 167. I'm like, damn, too much pasta. So got to do the carb loading.
Yeah.
And make sure I have energy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm definitely, if we were to go out right now and compete, I'd be 17 pounds heavier than I was last year, but in completely different physical shape.
Yeah. Your engine is stronger. The truck chassis is stronger. It's not like you have a bunch more shit in the pickup.
No.
So I think you're in a good spot weight wise.
And then today, hey Jeph, I'm coming over. One, I hadn't put the scope on the rifle yet.
Yeah, we just need to switch rings.
Yeah.
Cool, easy enough.
Coming over, switch rings. I get here, I'm like, we're changing everything.
It's not gonna work.
Changing everything. And you're like, what do you want to do? I was like, this stock has got to go. Like, it's more important to be able to attach the rifle to the tripod
Mm-hmm.
than having a rifle that basically after we weighed everything, what do we gain? About a pound?
If that.
So this rifle right here is a pound heavier than the ultralight carbon fiber, titanium, everything.
Yeah.
Falcor.
Yeah.
Right. So this is also a Falcor. It's just the aluminum chassis.
Yeah, and so that's the older aluminum chassis. That's the one that historically lives on my night hunting rig.
Yep.
And it was like, hey, we got to ditch this chassis. I need something, or we need to ditch this stock. We've got to put it in something I can run my tripod on.
Yeah.
And so the option was either bed a piece of Arca rail into the bottom of that one, or let's just move everything around, open up the safe, and I mean, there's a handful of shit to choose from, and that one works. And I'll be surprised. I didn't think we were only going to gain like a half a pound.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, maybe a pound. Like, that's really fucking close.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was really solid. So without the bipods, If we ditch these, toss them in the stash bag, this guy right here comes in at an even 10 pounds.
Yeah.
With the bipods, it's 11.1.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it is what it is, ultimately.
And we could go lighter, right? We could give up a lot of shit to make it sub 8 pounds, but then it's not, we're missing the whole point of making it more functional to be able to shoot off the tripod appropriately.
True.
So I think we're in a good spot with it.
I think if we're really concerned about it, what we'll do is we'll just hacksaw cut right there
Yeah.
at the end of the handguard.
I would.
I mean, it's your rifle.
Well, yeah, then in that case, I'd cut it right about at the handguard, right about there.
Exactly.
Take handguard and barrel with it.
You just cut it all off.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, why not? I got a bolt action pistol we can stick a rail on and use. But yeah, I think you're in a good spot with that.
We could hacksaw it off.
Mhm.
And then, the little hand tool that you use for deburring your brass?
Yeah.
That's how we'll recess the crown.
Yeah, no, that's how you clean your crown up.
Yeah. Dude, it'll be solid.
It's fucking easy.
Take it out, we'll
It's gonna
shoot it.
well.
If there's any problems, we'll just deburr it again. We'll deburr it until it fucking shoots straight.
Yeah. Because yeah, I'm sure it's sharp enough. You could deburr the carbon fiber with that.
Well, I mean, that's it, man.
Yeah, it's good to go. So we got the right rings on it. We got
Everything.
Mark 5 3D18 on it, right?
Still haven't shot it yet.
No. The
I mean,
zero's not even going to be close.
We know it shoots
Mhm.
because I used it last year. We know it's a shooter,
Mhm.
but haven't shot it since we put it together. I'm leaving tonight.
And hold on, I'm trying to think if we moved barrels around since.
No,
I haven't.
no. That's the one part that stayed the same.
I did a lot of barrel moving around.
I think you would have told me.
I haven't moved barrels around since we shot with Jason. So
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're solid. You caught the biggest. Hey, do you have the right bolt in
Yeah.
the rifle? I'm like, I don't know.
I have a tendency to take all the bolts on my rifles and just get them all fucking mixed up. And I've been known to go on a hunting trip
Yeah.
and go, oh shit, I need someone to overnight me my fucking bolts.
So I'm gonna leave tonight. As soon as we finish the nutrition podcast, I'm out of here,
Mhm.
headed towards Benson, Arizona. I'll get there in the morning. I'll probably either nap along the way or I will just catch a few Z's and then gotta grab Fred.
Mhm.
And we gotta go out to some random spot in the desert. Zero the pistol
Mhm.
with his slow shooting.
Yeah, so this
9mm ammo.
super slow, really lightweight 9 ammo.
Yep. Zero the pistols. And then I have to zero chrono and attempt to get some type of data card for this
Mhm.
guy. And then we should be ready.
Yeah, we should be good.
But I don't if that's the only thing that's left, I don't feel stressed about that.
No, there's nothing to rush with. At this point, the only thing to do is just get dope on that rifle.
Yeah.
That's it. And zero
Like-
a pistol. Like that's not a big deal. Everything's been food's figured out, water, supplies, equipment, everything's done.
Even the ballistic calculator, it's become so accurate that I would feel comfortable knowing that all I have is how the rifle's built, what bullet I'm using, what's the scope height, and what's the velocity. Boom, here's my dope card. Run with it.
Yeah.
I feel confident doing that. I mean, I wish there was more time to prepare, but there just wasn't. We've been here. How long have we been here? 4 days now?
Yeah.
And quick trip to Vegas, go
Yep.
home, go back to Vegas. Hey, I live in Japan, but I need a new driver's license, which was
I need to renew all my shit.
which was interesting. They're like, you live in Japan. I'm like, right now I do. Oh, okay. So why do you want a Nevada driver's license? Well, because I'm a US citizen and I have to have residency somewhere. And they're like, no shit. No shit. She says, well, where are you staying now? I was like, the hotel. She's like, well, just put that address down. I'm like, okay. She's like, when are you leaving? I was like, tomorrow. She's like, Oh,
I bet that doesn't work.
I'm like, look, lady,
Can I-
I
have an address.
just need you to send the license to me wherever I can get it.
Yeah.
And she's like, we can send it to your military address. I'm like, perfect. That's fucking great. That's exactly what I needed to hear right
Fucking
there.
perfect.
So it took a minute to get to that, but we got to it, and getting in the license was pretty seamless. And then drive on over to Freedom Firearms, my favorite gun shop in Vegas. Tyler, it's so good to see you. It's been a few months. Hey, we have these 2 suppressors for you. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then Shannon, my homie, comes out. He's like, Tyler, that's it? No, there's one more back there for you. He goes in the back. He comes back. He's like, I got a 3rd one for you. And then this girl that I've never met before, Kira,
Mhm.
she's like, I saw another box back.
There's got to be
there for
another
Tyler.
one for you.
She goes back. She's like, there's a 4th one. So I've got 3 KGM suppressors and 1 Thunder
One
Beast,
Thunder Beast.
all waiting for me to pay their fucking fees. And I'm like, all right, cool, got it.
Perfect.
So yeah, it was good.
It's not a bad trip. Not a bad
Good trip.
Not a bad box of gifts to get when you get home.
Yeah. So outside of that, man,
No, I think you're prepped. I think you're good to go. We'll figure out. I mean, even the conversation we're gonna have tonight with the nutritionist is just gonna be more for information. It's not like you can change everything now.
no.
But I think a lot of this is just hey, how many of these carbs should I be taking in?
That's a huge one. That's a huge one. Like, can you overdose on carbs?
I mean, I have to imagine if you have too many, you're just gonna go to sleep.
Ooh, that's a good point. So here's crazy thing. I've done this. This will be the 5th year I have done this competition with Fred.
Mm-hmm.
But I've done this. This will be my 7th total time doing it.
Yeah.
I've never, right? And this is just, I don't know if it's from my days in the military, like always going out to the field, being a sniper. I don't know what it is, but like my body goes into field mode and it just shuts off number 2. There's no shitting happening while I'm out. So for 36 hours, I won't even have the need to shit. My body's just like, we're going to hold it. We got shit to do. We don't have time to to do it. Is that going to change this year because of how my diet and
It
carbs
might.
and
I'd at least bring 2 squares of toilet paper with you.
I got some nice baby wipes, dude. There's nothing worse than going out and having to take a crap.
Oh God, and then just get swamp ass all the rest of the trip.
Dude, that's the worst. That's the worst, like after you get swamp ass, then you get chafing.
Yeah, no, then you're
And then like you're constantly digging in your ass trying to get the cheeks.
Fuck, that's the word. So you know what we didn't talk about before we forget. So you have so the date has changed.
Yeah.
The location has changed.
Yeah.
The big thing on the location change is the terrain. This is like nothing in the years past.
Yeah, it's a good thing you brought that up because I kind of let that slip in the back of my mind. Wyoming, very mountainous.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking like some good
Peaks.
fucking mountains that
Yeah.
you're going up, right? This year, when I was trying to find the area, I knew that there was a gun range in the area. So I was like, oh, look, there's a gun range here. It's private. All of these mountains.
There's all
are
these mountains
it.
around it. Yeah, it's
So
gotta
we
be
thought
nice.
we found it.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out the grid area that they gave us, there's a gun range, and then there's nothing but flat desert. It's 80 square miles of just 10 feet of elevation.
That's fucking nuts.
And you're like, damn. And, a lot of people are like, well, that's awesome. You don't have to go up all these mountains.
How
I'm
the
like,
fuck you gonna navigate?
but you're not thinking about the navigational part. Like, you're not
There's
thinking,
no reference.
damn, so now you will be using, when you look at your satellite map, if you were smart enough to have brought one,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be looking at like key identifiable features on the ground that you can physically stand at and try to navigate from there.
Yeah.
If you just have the topo map that they gave
No,
you,
you're fucked. You're gonna need like
you're
I
fucked.
need to find a fence post that has an end that is definitely this fence post
Dude,
or whatever it is.
yeah. So that's going to be the challenging part is I was to the point where I was telling Fred, because he makes our maps, I'm like, can you do contour intervals of 2 feet? because right now they're in 10-foot intervals.
Yeah, like
And it's
it's
like
just flat.
you got this 5-foot map, okay? And it's like contour line. Contour line. There's 3 contour lines on the whole map. And
That's
you're like,
insane. That's not gonna work.
can you do 2 feet? He's like, it won't let me. I was like, I think we need 2 feet. Like, if you're thinking about just sitting there trying to look at the terrain that's in front of you, right? It has to break 10 feet for you to see a rise on the map.
Yeah, so
you could be looking at something in front of you and there's a little few hills or rolling terrain, but if it never breaks 10 feet, it's not on the map.
can you spot 2 foot, 3 foot rise or break? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess you could spot a 5 foot. Oh, that's gonna be fucked.
Right? I mean, you see a little 5-foot rise and now you're up on like a little plateau, but on the map, it's not there. But that would be a great helper with navigating and like, I know exactly where we are. Look at this plateau. We're on this plateau right here. But we don't have that. We're still at 10 feet intervals. It wasn't something he could do. But what he did do is basically around the edge of the map, because I guess off in the distance, maybe like 15 miles, 20 miles or so, there is mountains and peaks and shit.
Okay.
So what he did is around the edge of the map, he lined up what the horizon looks like in terms of the peaks.
Oh,
So if you can identify a peak and then you look at the map, you say, okay, that peak's right here, and you can shoot an azimuth to it and do a reverse. You can kind of get an idea like where you are.
you can get close enough to start looking for identifying features.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is definitely this tree or what this fucking
Yeah.
cactus.
Some of the other things he added to the map was like power lines, railroad tracks. I guess there's a railroad that runs through there that is not operational anymore. I don't know if you ask Wikipedia is confused as fuck.
Yeah.
It shut down, it started up, it shut down, it's still going, you don't know. So there may be a railroad track there. If there is, that would be huge because you'd have a reference, right? Like
There's got to be a number of power line roads, creeks, and some other stuff that you can pull reference from.
Yeah.
You know, I can't imagine anywhere in Arizona that's 80 square miles that doesn't have BLM roads, shit like that running through it that you can pull a reference on.
I'm hoping so, right?
There has to be. I mean,
But
I've hunted a lot in Arizona, and you can't get that far from power line.
True. As long as it's a power line road, right? Because you can identify the power lines. If it's just a dirt road, is that Fred's road or is that BLM road?
Yeah.
You don't know.
And here's the thing without GPS. So it's easy in a car because GPS can be like, oh, this is a bullshit road, but oh, this is something that's on the GPS and it's easy to track. You look at your map like no big deal because you got live map.
Yeah.
You don't have that.
No.
You have a map.
And when you get lost or you don't know where you are, you're disoriented, what do? You shoot a resection to known points. But there has to be known points.
There has to be something to shoot. I mean, how far can you shoot a 5-foot fence post? How far away from it can you be?
That, and you're hoping it's on the map.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think the episode that we have after is going to be
interesting.
It'll be interesting, and there will be completely different stories than what we had last year. You know, even though last year was 48 hours and it was just a big kick in the dick, this year's only 36, but the terrain's completely different.
Yeah.
And nobody has an advantage. Nobody's ever been to this place before.
It's all new.
It's all new. So, yeah, I think we'll all have similar struggles, you know, and there might be a lot of like me holding the compass saying, Fred, I need you to sprint over there. Shimmy to the right. Okay, stay right there. And then I come running and catch up to him. Like we just leapfrog on an azimuth, you know, because we've had to do that before in other areas where there was just
nothing to shoot.
Nothing but flat. Yeah, fuck. And the point is right in the middle of the flat area, you know, a mile away. And you're like, we're just gonna have to shoot this azimuth and stay on it, you know, for a mile. That sucks. Yeah, it's gonna be. They need to figure out how to film this shit. have some crews out there rolling around in vehicles, just watching competitors fucking embrace the suck, dude.
Yep, full on
You know.
survival mode.
With flat ground like this,
Yeah.
it's a wonder that they don't have it over there. You know, to have people out there just, you know.
But and so that means historically it'll be here for another 2 years, right? They usually switch it every 3 years.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we'll see how many people get frostbite this year. I
Yeah.
might be one of them.
Well, if I can see.
Yeah. Anyways, cool. It was a
right.
good episode. We're gonna get back at it tonight. We'll have the nutritionist on. Her name is Jen. Super excited. We're gonna learn a lot. You guys are gonna learn a lot. And yeah, so it's almost 1 p.m. 7.5 hours from now.
Yep.
We'll be back on this shit.
All right.
We'll see you guys then. Peace.